Hey everyone, the Miss Peg here, and we are continuing our Algebra 1 EOC review. We are going to be on page 2 of what we started yesterday, which is the standard that I call CED 1.1, Writing Equations. And we have already completed this first page here, the first 3 questions. That's funny. And now we are going on to the next page that has questions 4, 5, and 6. So we're going to tackle those today. If you are just tuning in, you can hopefully find this information in the link below where you can get this worksheets online if you'd like to follow along and study with us for the exam. Okay, so jumping right into this, let me get my pen open. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Let me make sure this pen is working here. There we go. All right, cool. So it says a heart-shaped box, we're on number 4. A heart-shaped chocolate box is composed of 1 square and 2 half circles. That's the beginning of my information. How would that even look? Well, 1 square and 2 half circles. Someone tried to do this for you. Okay, so you'd probably have a square on its side like this. That's about as close as I can get freehand. And then a half circle would go on this side. And then a half circle would go on that side. Almost. It's freehand heart. Looks nice to me. All right, so that's what we're talking about here. A heart-shaped chocolate box has a square, that's square in the middle, 2 half circles on the sides. All right, the total number of chocolates in the box is calculated by adding the area of a square given by 4x squared and the area of a circle approximated by 3x squared. Okay, so in this sentence, this is kind of cool. I want to show you something that you should be looking for. It says here, the total number of chocolates in the box is calculated by adding the area of the square and the area of the circle. So first, let me just make sure it's clear. When you are adding something, you're going to add 2 things. You're going to add this and this. So when you see that you're going to calculate something by adding, well, what am I going to add together? Well, what we're adding together is the area of the square and, keyword, the area of the circle. So did they tell us the area of the square? Yes. It's given. I love that word given. They just give it to you. It's a gift. So I'm going to put 4x squared and add that to the area of the circle approximated by 3x squared. You say, but there's 2 semicircles. We have to do that twice. No, you don't, because this part of the circle and this part of the circle, when you put them together, make a whole circle. So a semicircle has been cut in half. One piece went over here, the other piece over there, so it's just this is the circle, this is the square. Okay? So there's another bit of information. Let's keep reading. That's what we know so far. So the company plans to add a small additional box for the promotional campaign containing 1 row, and then here they gave me a value, 2x, of chocolates. So they're going to add another tiny promotional box, okay? They're going to add another row, and that row is going to be 2x, all right? So it asks us, it says here, if the total combined, ooh, good keywords, total combined heart shape and small box. So this is the heart-shaped box, and then they're going to add another small box of 1 row. So I'm going to have to add that 2x to this because they said the total combined. This is the heart-shaped box, this is the promotional small box. And they contain 69 chocolates. Which of these equations, I'm going to underline the word equations, could be utilized to solve for the number of chocolates in the small box? So we want to solve for the number of chocolates in the small box, 2x. Well, they gave me here, when it says equations, that means it's going to have an equal sign. And all of the total of all the chocolates in here would equal up, they want it to have 69 chocolates. Okay? We can go ahead and solve for that, but wait. They didn't even ask us to solve for this. That's a great question. All I had to do was think about it, use my mind, figure out what do these keywords mean and what are they asking me to do. So it's pretty obvious that our answer is answer choice A. Okay, you want to take a brief look through and see, do any of these answer choices, the other answer choices, make sense? Maybe I went wrong somewhere. But everything I heard was adding, total, combining. So I'm already going to eliminate D because there was subtraction in there. This here was the heart-shaped box we could add together, but we're not taking away, the promo box. This one had the heart-shaped box subtracting, which made no sense, even though they got it right to add the promotional box. So yeah, A was the only one that actually made sense. All right, so that's number 1. Number 4. All right, continuing down here. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to clear that screen out so we have some space here. Go back to my black pen. All right, number 5. An internet business sells U.S. flags for $16.95 each, plus $2.50 shipping per flag. Let me move this out of your way. Cancel. So you can see the question behind here. Okay. Oh, look, free shipping, however, on orders more than $100 of flags are purchased. Okay, so this question is saying you're going to buy some flags online. They're $16.95 each. The first thing that I know to do is write down that number, $16.95. So $16.95. That's this number. And what does that stand for? That's the flags. Okay? Remember, we're going to buy flags online. So you are going to have plus $2.50 shipping per bag. I could add that here because I see that keyword plus. But let me read on to what I highlighted in blue. Shipping is free, however, on orders more than. So we want to put a box around more than. Then you want to put a star. Then you want to put an exclamation point. And then you want to put a big circle. This is very important information here, more than. All right? More than $100. We're going to talk about that. So that's when you get the free shipping, by the way. So here's the question. The question is where you find the question mark. So the question mark, work way backwards. Which correctly shows the number of flags, F. They gave us this F here. They didn't put in parentheses, so that might throw you off. They're saying use F to be your variable. How many flags, the number of flags, that must be purchased to get free shipping. Well, in order to get free shipping, we got to spend $100 on flags. So how many flags do you need to buy? If they're each $16.95, I can put $16.95F, because that means for every one flag, I'm going to pay $16.95. If I got 2 flags, it'd be 2 times $16.95. 5 flags, 5 times $16.95. But so we don't know how many flags are bought, but we want to know how many would be needed to get to more than $100. Literally, you write it like you see it. More than goes like this, because this would be more than, the open side is more, $100. More than $100. So the cost of the flags, how many flags you buy, that together has to be more than $100. All right? So your answer choice that matches that one is answer choice B. Okay? So it's not going to be here, 1945. Where did they get that 1945 from? Well, look. They added $16.95 and $2.50 together. And that $2.50 was the shipping. So you wouldn't put the flags and the shipping together on this particular problem because it doesn't make any sense. So this won't work, this won't work. And here, A is very similar to B, but they did not use, they used an equality sign. They said $16.95 times how many flags equals 100. But we had this super big deal about more than. All right, you got to pay attention to that. In the last problem, remember, we talked about an inequality. Let me scroll up to remind you. In the last problem, we talked about which of these equations is going to have an equal sign. More than is going to be an inequality. It's going to be something like greater than, it's going to be something like greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, when you see more than, less than, any of those. Okay? All right, moving on to number 3. We are almost done, you guys. Great job today. And sometimes you may only get a couple problems done, but for me, the key for you is to understand. so that now when you see a problem that may be similar, you can say, oh, I've seen something like this before. I think I can figure it out on my own. That's the goal for the exam, okay, you guys? So let's go to number 3. Boom. All right, a farmer, oh, I like this question. Okay, a farmer has a rectangular field that measures 100 feet by 150 feet. I'm going to write that down first, so I'm going to put, let me come over here. 100 feet by 150 feet. I don't know, it's not going to be too exact, okay? So 100 feet and 150 feet, not drawn to scale. So that much is what I know for sentence number 1. He plans to increase the area of the field by 20%. So he's going to do this by increasing the length. So the length will go this way. Let me use that in red for you. The length's going to go this way, 20%. And then the width this way, 20%. All right, so 20% and 20% there. And so it says here, all right, 20%. He will do this by increasing the length. We did that. So how much is he increasing is X. I'm going to go to my blue marker here. Hopefully I selected that blue. Boom. So how much is this 20%? It's going to be X here and X here. Really, he means 20% of the entirety. We're going to achieve that by going further on our length and further on our width by a certain value. And the value is X. So this 100 plus the X this way, and then this 150 plus the X that way is going to give me some new information, okay? So the first thing I know is I'm going to have 100 plus X in one grouping, and then I'm going to have 150 plus X in another grouping, okay? So when I look up here, so we're talking about, let's see, a farmer has a rectangular field. He plans to increase the area by 20%. So now let's talk about area for a moment. All right, now that we got some setup of what we do know. The original was 100 by 150. Okay, so you have 100 by 150. The reason I put that down is because area is base times height. So let me put that down here for you. Base times height. So I took my base and my height. I'm only working with the original document right now at this point. So when it says here, he's going to do this by increasing, all right, here we go. First, let's find the area, all right? So 150 times 100 gives me 15,000. So let me put this in red for you to show you. This was before, okay? So when we first started, the red area here was 15,000. Now we're going to have a completely new area. Let me go in this green. That's going to be further this way and further that way, because now we have the 150 plus the X, the 100 plus the X. So that means area still is going to be base times height. So this is my new base and this is my new height. I'm going to have to multiply those. Multiply will be stuck together. So that's why you see all but one answer choice has these stuck together. Answer choice B cannot be true in any way because it has a plus in there, and we're not adding anything in that. We multiply the base and the height. So this is what I'm working out for the new. So let me go back and put that before and then after. So we got it before, it was 15,000, it was 100 times 150 our base and our height. After, we got to add that 20%. So we're here, we got 100 plus the X, 150 plus the X. I have a little typo there. But there's one more element we need to come up with. Equals what? Is it equal to this 15,000? Well, 15,000, remember, was the first area of the first rectangular farm. So we have to take this number and we have to add 20% to that number. So how do you do that? You're going to take the 15,000. There's a few different ways. The way that I choose is to times by 1.2. So it's times by 1 of itself, and an extra 20% of itself comes to 18,000. So that would mean that an 18,000 goes here. Because this is after he adds the 20%, it's going to be 18,000 square feet instead of 15,000 square feet. He achieved his goal of making his farmland larger by 20%. So now I can go back and see which one of these scenarios, A, C, or D, makes the most sense. And here is pretty obvious, but if you're not paying attention. So here you may have chosen answer choice D if you didn't, oh my God, pen, stop. You could have chose answer choice D if you did not know that you had to go and take this 15,000 and make it into the 18,000, all right? So answer choice D is not correct because that has 15,000 on the end. That was the original value or area of the farmland. Okay, so what's the difference between A and C? Well, look at this. 100, they both have 100 and plus. We had 100 plus X. This had 100 plus 2X. But why? Everything else is the same. Why did they add that 2X in? They just want to throw you off and get you to feel like you don't know what you're doing. You really got to trust yourself. So that makes answer choice C the correct answer for this one, number 3 here. All right? So that's how I reason my way through. Definitely pay attention to your before and after strategies. When you have to calculate what happened before, add a change to it. You may be having to add a percentage to it or taking away a percentage. In that case, over here would be more of subtracting. Okay, if we were decreasing, subtracting, increasing, adding. So make sure then that you always have a before area value and then your after area value, and you'll find all the information you need up in that problem. So that's it for this section on writing equations. Feel free, send me a message. What help do you need toward your algebra EOC that I can provide here on video for you? I'm Miss Peg. Please subscribe, share with your friends, or hit me up anytime. Talk to you soon.